She's been in trouble for a long time, Dr. Young.
Please call me Jack. How long has your daughter been this way?
As long as I can remember.
And more than just typical teenage issues?
Yeah, a lot more. She was living at a place called Chapman House until...
I know about what happened there. I'm so sorry.
Oh, did you work with the kids there?
No, my daughter was an intern there. She worked very closely with the staff.
Well, Carol wasn't doing well a while back, and her therapist at the time said he couldn't see her anymore.
Did he say why?
No, he just said that he couldn't connect with Carol the way I guess a therapist needs to.
Had this happened before?
Yeah.
More than once?
He was our 6th therapist in 2 years.
And what reasons did the others give?
The same. They couldn't connect with her. They didn't have the right expertise. One of them said that she needed more monitoring than they could do in a private practice.
So that's when you took her to Chapman House?
No. That's when she tried to leave.
She tried to run away from home?
No. Thank you. Anyway, once that happened, I couldn't find a therapist that would see her. I know they were all scared, lawsuits and malpractice and all.
Well, when a person tries to take her own life, it can make a situation difficult.
Wait, so you won't see her either?
Joyce, I'm a doctor. And like any good doctor, I live by the Hippocratic Oath. Do you know what that is?
No.
To consider dear to me as my parents, him who taught me this art, to live in common with him, and if necessary, to share my goods with him. To consider dear to me, his children, as my own brothers, to teach them this art, and that by that teaching I will impart a knowledge of this art to my sons and to my teachers' sons, and to disciples bound by an indenture and oath, according to medical laws and no others.
I don't understand.
It means that I don't refuse care to anyone, especially someone who needs my help.
So you'll see her?
Yes,
I have insurance.
I don't take insurance.
I'm sorry, I can't afford therapy for Carol out of pocket.
No, I just mean that I don't require any payment. You see, I've been very fortunate in this life, and this is my way of paying fortune forward.
You can't be serious.
There is one thing you can do for me, however.
Anything.
I need you to keep my sessions with Carol private.
Private?
Yes, you see, I've recently retired from private practice, and if word were to get out that I'd accepted another patient, I would be flooded with requests, and it would be very difficult for me to turn them down. So I'll need to see her here in my home office.
Why are you retiring?
I've decided to turn my attention to advocacy work and writing, especially in light of recent news. I want to use it as a platform to raise awareness for mental health issues, and this will take up most of my time.
Of course. I'm sorry, I've just been so worried about Carol, I wasn't putting the pieces together.
There's no need to apologize. So we have a deal?
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. I can't tell you how grateful I am.
Why don't you bring Carol by on Monday, say 10 o'clock, and you can wait for her out in the living room until we're done.
Great. Thank you so much.
Not at all. I do record all of my sessions for my records and transcriptions. However, I'd like to make sure that that's okay before we get started. Do I have your permission to record my sessions with Carol?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, it's kind of nice.
What's that?
Carol will be your last patient, and you'll use all your experience from your entire career to heal her.
How is she?
She'll be all right.
I know she will be. How is she now?
Tired. Sad.
It's been a month since she started seeing that therapist.
And she's making progress.
I don't call pulling herself up in her room progress. It's not like her.
Well, therapy isn't like taking a pill, Catherine. It takes takes time.
Then why do your patients see such rapid recovery?
Oh, my patients are very different than Pearl. You know that. Our daughter suffered a traumatic loss, the first of her life.
And how long do we wait before we decide to change therapists?
Changing therapists now would destroy any progress that Pearl's made, however small. There needs to be a rapport that's developed between a patient and a therapist. Trust takes time.
You're the doctor. You know best.
Do you really believe that?
I used to.
How are we?
We are as good as we can be under the circumstances.
You could argue that we've been in therapy for some time without seeing any positive results.
Trust takes time, right? You just said it yourself.
Do you think it's possible
Do I think what's possible?
that you'll trust me again?
I hope so. I really hope so, for Pearl's sake.
But Catherine, no matter what happens, it's important that you understand how much you
Jack,
and Pearl...
please, not now. I will never get through this party if we start this now.
All right. All right. They made the announcement official today.
So they don't know?
Now, Dean Johnson kept his promise.
Maybe you can learn something from him.
Is that how it's going to be, Catherine?
You tell me, Jack, how's it going to
Are
be?
you making your little digs every chance you get?
Oh, no. You're not putting this on me. You did this, not me. I'm just trying to pick up the pieces and not cut myself in the process. Pretending that everything's fine, cleaning up your mess.
I know this is hard.
You know what's hard, Jack? I hate what you did over and over and over again. You hurt so many people, and still, I know there are people you helped no one else could have. Susan and Grace? What would they have done without you?
Been accused of things. Catherine, nothing's been proven.
I thought they weren't arriving until 8.
They're not. Hi, Eric. Uh-huh. Oh, great. Send him up. Thanks.
Who's that?
Detective Dennehy,
And what does he want?
to talk to Pearl.
She's already talked to him.
Well, I guess he has some more questions.
This is not helping.
Good evening, Dr. Young. Miss Young? Is Pearl around?
Detective Dennehy, she's just upstairs getting ready for a little party we're having tonight.
I heard the news. I guess congratulations are in order. I'm sorry to bother you. I just had a couple of questions to ask. Follow-up questions from our conversation the other day.
I'm sure she'd be happy to help you. Let me just get her for you.
Thank you.
Detective?
Miss Young?
Working late this evening?
Well, I'm never really off the clock, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you mean. Don't you have a family you need to be with?
Look, I understand this is difficult.
You have no idea. Hello, Detective?
Hi, Pearl. I'm sorry to come by so late. This won't take long.
Please.
Thank you. Your friend George, did he have any enemies, any altercations with anyone recently?
George? No, he was so nice to everyone, sometimes a little too nice.
What do you mean by that?
He always saw the best in people. You know, he always gave everyone the benefit of the doubt.
Did that cause any problems for him?
Not unless it's a crime to have too many friends.
Did he have a girlfriend, somebody he was dating?
Not that I know of, but everyone had a crush on him.
Anyone that may have gone the wrong idea? Anyone that may have had some type of jealousy?
No, I don't think so. I mean, all the girls at the house were always fighting over him, but they were just playing around, you know, it didn't mean anything.
You're sure about that?
Detective, what are you trying to get at?
Look, I'm just trying to cover all bases here, you know, look at this thing from every angle.
Why would you think someone wanted to hurt George?
Detective, please.
The fire department reports just came back. They found gasoline poured outside of George's office. Somebody had to have put it there.
No! But who would do that to him?
That's what we're trying to find out. Look, I understand this is hard for you to hear, but here's my card. If you can think of anything, anything at all that can help us figure out who did this, please give us a call.
Thank you, Detective.
Thank you. Again, I'm sorry to barge in like this.
Thanks for coming. okay.
Catherine, just give her some space. She has a lot of grief to process.
I know all about grief, Jack. You're a good teacher.
How are you gonna fix this one, Jack? Hi, Eric. Great, yeah, send her up. Oh, Eric, yeah, there'll be one more. Susan. No, you don't need to call, just send her up. Thank you. Grace, good to see you.
Good to be seen, especially today.
Can I get you something to drink?
Irish, neat.
Of course, I should know that by now.
Hi, Grace. It's nice to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you, and thanks for having us over on
Oh.
such short notice.
Of course.
Oh, what a view. The George Washington Bridge looks so beautiful at sunset.
Grace, you've said that every time for 20 years.
Well, it's a nice view every time I'm here. What's that they say? Red at night, sailor's delight. Good omen, that sky.
Susan, good to see you.
Oh, I feel the same way.
Can I make you a drink?
Great, use the tonic, squeeze of lime.
Oh, I forgot the limes.
Lemon's okay, Susan?
Sure.
Why not live dangerously? I can be flexible.
Susan, you look lovely.
So do you, Catherine. Hey, Grace.
Hi, Susan.
Look at that sunset.
I know. I was just saying that this red night sky is fitting for tonight. For celebration.
Hi.
Hey, Pearl. How are you?
I'm okay.
Hey, Pearl.
Hey, Grace.
Sweetie, can I get you something to drink?
Maybe just some water? I can get
No,
ready.
honey, you sit down, relax, I'll get it for you.
I also made some food too if anyone's hungry.
Oh, Catherine, everything looks amazing.
Oh, it's nothing. Just some snacks. You can't have cocktails without food, right?
Well, your snacks put other people's meals to shame.
We are
grateful for the opportunity to be together and for the ability to heal from the inside out with the support of the people around us.
I love that blessing.
Catherine, you really outdid yourself with these snacks, as usual.
So, Pearl, how's the start of the school year going? Big senior year?
Yeah, it's good. You know, school's good. A bit of a weird start, you know, with everything, but
Of course. Have you started applying to colleges? I know you were looking at a bunch of schools.
yeah, actually,
How are you two feeling now that the announcement's out and now that it's official?
Oh, well, I gotta say, I'm still a little bit in shock.
Why are you shocked?
Well, think about it. We're psychiatrists, completely bucking the paradigm of psychiatry. I mean, no medication, no wall between the patient and therapist. No. What psychiatrist in their right mind would think that this would work? Or that it should even be attempted? Jack, do you remember the crap we got from Dean Johnson when we went public with our work? I thought we were going to have our licenses revoked.
Catherine, are you okay?
Fine. Fine. Just wrong pipe.
Yes, for a while we were the laughing stock of the faculty lounge.
And who's laughing now? Grace, I remember when I first met you.
Here we go.
Grace, I have a feeling that Susan's about to pay you a compliment. You should take it.
I was just going to say that the first day I met you, you barely said one word to anyone. You couldn't even lift your face up from your plate. And now, I mean, we are on top of the world, literally the world. I mean, this research has completely changed our lives. And this changes everything. I mean, at one point we could barely even get funding for our research. Hell, for a while you were funding it from your own private practice, Jack. And now, where do we go from here?
Anywhere. You know, Susan, if I didn't know any better, I'd think you were vying for my job.
Well, I hear there may be an opening now that you're stepping down from some of your responsibilities.
Hey, I was sorry to hear the news.
The news?
About the Chapman house. The fire department's reports came back in.
How did you hear about that?
Honey, it was all over the local news today.
What? The detective who's working on the case was just here. He just told us about it.
Did they find anything else out?
What do you mean?
About who started the fire?
Well, they're still investigating, but the detective
Can I
thinks...
freshen anyone's drinks?
Can I have some more water, Mom?
More water for Pearl? Anyone else?
To answer your earlier question, Grace, I have decided where I want to go to college.
Everything all right back there?
Butterfingers tonight, I guess.
Sweetie, you were saying?
Um,
Oh, come on, don't keep us all in suspense.
I'm going to apply to NYU. Well, aren't you excited to hear that? I want to go to the place where all of you are. I want to study psychology. I want to be a psychiatrist too. Didn't Mom tell you we talked about this? Daddy, I thought you'd be happy to hear this.
Sweetie, I can't tell you how flattered I'm surprised, I'm speechless.
Daddy, look at what all of you have accomplished. I mean, integrating your patients into our family, having them share our lives, feeling the love and support that we have for each other. I mean, it's the only reason I'm getting through all this right now, you know? Otherwise, I'd be lost. We're all here together. We're a family. You know, most psychiatrists feel like they have to separate themselves from their patients, but I could never do that, and now I know that I don't have to. I mean, you tore down one of the main pillars of your field, just like Freud did.
Honey, I can't tell you how much this means to me, to all of us, really. So why don't we talk about this later when you've had a little more time to think about it?
Think about what?
About whether NYU is the right fit for what you want to do or not.
The right fit? What is that supposed to mean?
Sweetheart, it just means that not all psychology programs are created equal. Some are better for other things, and you may want to go somewhere where you can carve your own path.
What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. You just won the Nobel Prize. You're the first team of American psychiatrists to ever do that.
Honey, I'm flattered that you want to follow in my footsteps, all right?
It's not just for you, Daddy. I'm also doing this for George.
George?
Yeah. You know, he didn't believe in having a wall between him and his patients either. He believed that we could be close to the people we wanted to help, that really it was the only way to help them. You know, if we showed them that we cared, they would learn to care about themselves too. You know, he was doing the same work, except he wasn't doing it in some fancy university. He was out there on the streets helping the kids that were at the end of their rope. He was out there with the people as a social worker. I want to continue what he started.
Who is George?
George was Pearl's friend.
Was?
He was at the Chapman house the night of the fire.
He was the one that got trapped inside and he didn't get out in time.
Pearl, I'm so sorry.
Pearl, you can help me in the kitchen here.
I'll help you.
I guess it's not easy.
What's that?
Being a parent. It's not easy, is it?
No, it's not. But it's worth it.
She really looks up to you.
Yeah, she's much more talented than I am. She's stronger, more courageous, smarter.
You think so?
I know so. She's better than all of us put together. I'm really proud of the woman that she's become.
God. Shame about her friend. I didn't realize she was close to the person that died.
No, actually, they were more than just friends.
What do you mean?
Well, Catherine and I didn't know until recently, but apparently they had been seeing a lot of each other outside of work.
Wait, George was Pearl's boyfriend.
Well, I don't know that I'd use the term boyfriend, but it's certainly her first brush with deeper romantic feelings for someone.
Oh, that's gotta be rough. Especially a girl her age. How old was this guy?
40s, maybe?
What? It's a guy that old dating a high schooler. What did you do when you found out?
I talked to Pearl about it.
And what did she say?
Oh, typical Pearl. She looked me dead in the eye and asked me how old I was when I started dating Catherine.
Guess she's got you there, Doc.
I was different then.
She does have a point, though. I mean, Catherine was your student when you met her, and my classmate.
I don't need you to remind me of that.
So that's it? That was the end of the conversation?
With Pearl.
Well, you talked to Catherine about it.
No, Catherine didn't know until after the fire.
Wait, what?
Pearl didn't tell Catherine until after the fire. She told me a few months ago.
And you didn't tell Catherine?
Pearl swore me to secrecy. I didn't want to violate her trust.
Well, so if you stopped talking to Pearl about it, who did you talk to about it?
George.
You went to see him in person?
I did. As a matter of fact, I was there the evening of the fire. I stopped by there on my way home after work. I was on my way to meet Catherine for dinner.
Well, what was he like?
Likeable, smart, genuine. Seemed like a nice guy.
Just about 2 decades too old to be dating your daughter. What did you say to him?
I told him I didn't appreciate him sneaking around with my daughter, and that she was young and impressionable, and I didn't want him taking advantage of her.
Yeah, and she's still underage.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Well, believe it or not, he apologized. He said as much as he cared about Pearl that he didn't want to create any problems for her, and he agreed to stop seeing her outside of work.
Really?
That surprised me too.
So that's it? You just left?
Well, there was one other thing I wanted to talk about.
Well, what was that?
Oh, one of these Saturday morning talk shows was interviewing him about his work at Chapman. Would you believe he was using our treatment method and passing it off as something he had come up with on his own? Yeah, he was putting in grant applications with the city to expand his program, and this no-name journalist was hailing him as some innovator.
What? Jack, that doesn't even make any sense. I mean, he had to have heard of our work with all the press he's been getting. It's been a media frenzy for months now. What did he say?
Well, he was pretty hot-headed about that one, insisting that he had never heard of our clinic or our work, which is ridiculous considering that...
Considering we were just nominated for a Nobel Prize. Yeah, I'll say. And he was dating your daughter?
That's what I said. And this journalist obviously must have had her head in the sand.
Huh. So I guess that conversation didn't end well.
No, not exactly. We argued for a little bit, and then he essentially asked me to leave.
Did he start doing this work before we did?
No way. Of course, we didn't get that far before he threw me out.
Well, does the Nobel Committee know about it?
They haven't said anything to me about it.
Huh. This is unbelievable. What are the odds that your daughter is dating someone doing the same exact work that we're doing? What? Huh. So do you think they're gonna find out who started that fire?
Well, if this detective has his way.
Well, what's he like?
Tenacious. Like a dog with a bone. You know, I don't think he sleeps. He's been here 3 or 4 times to talk to Pearl. I mean, it's a complicated case.
Do they really think somebody was trying to hurt this George?
Seems like arson and murder.
Jeez. Who would do that?
Some very sick person.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what do we have here?
I've never let anyone leave this house hungry. Pearl, do you remember what you used to say when you were little when we had everyone over for Sunday dinner?
Me?
You. When you were little, you used to look around at the table full of people and say, wow, I have such a big family. Seems so long ago. So sweet and innocent. What did you think of that? I don't know. I guess me thinking about you going to college has me feeling sentimental lately.
I'm gonna be right down the road.
Well, We should do a toast.
I suppose we should.
And I have the newspaper article right here.
I can't believe you still read the Times on real paper in this day and age.
I like the way the paper feels in my hand.
Well, of course you do.
What article? The article about the Nobel. The New York Times printed it today, and here it is right here. Dr. Jack Young, a pioneer in the field of psychiatry, leads the team that includes Dr. Grace Doyle and Dr. Susan James, who will be honored with the Nobel Prize for their groundbreaking research involving the integration of clinical patients into family units as a means to their full recovery without medication.
Susan, that's very
In a
kind of you.
statement about this recognition, Dr. Young said, "The family unit is a vital societal construct where we seek refuge, support, and comfort in times of distress. For too long, we have isolated those who are challenged with mental illness, and this isolation has led to catastrophic results in our communities across the country. We can no longer stand idly by and condone this damaging practice that has ruined the lives of too many Americans. As doctors and leaders in our field, we must do an about-face in our methods. If we do not fully embrace our power to generate familial ties with our patients and between them, then the blood of future incidents like Columbine, Aurora, and Newtown will be on our hands."
You know, those aren't just words. I mean, I don't think of any of the people that we work with as patients, their family. Look around my apartment. I have their pictures hanging on the walls. When we accept that honor in Sweden, it'll be as if they're up there accepting it with us. I mean, after all, it was them that taught us that we are all healing from something, and that we have the ability to heal, that we can heal together.
Hear, hear. To healing.
To healing.
To healing.
Read the rest of the article, Susan.
There isn't really any more.
Oh, yes, there is. I read it this morning. Oops. Doctors Doyle and James themselves provide a fascinating example of just how valuable this method of family unit creation and integration is to the patients. They themselves were patients of Dr. Young when they were in high school. Dr. Doyle suffered from clinical depression. Dr. James battled obsessive-compulsive disorder. Sometimes I shiver when I think of what might have become of me had I not met Dr. Young at such a critical stage in my early life, said Dr. James. I was crippled with OCD to the point that I could barely leave my home. Our family integration method has potential to help every one of these people without the dangerous side effects and steep cost of medications. We are offering a cure, not a Band-Aid.
Everyone here knows that story. There's no need to read it again.
No, I didn't know that story.
You know what? That's right. You were not even born when Grace and I started coming here. We've been coming here for so long, I almost forgot that. Isn't it amazing that just sitting around, eating, laughing, talking, passing around plates, the most basic acts that people have been doing since the beginning of humankind is transforming the field of psychiatry?
Well, Susan, you say that as if you're realizing it for the first time.
I feel like that every day. And every time I come here, I am reminded how simple and elegant that insight was. It's been with us all along.
Well, tell the story.
No, you've heard it a million times. You lived it.
What story?
The story of how your father started bringing together his patients at his house.
There's a story?
Oh, you know your old man here. He's got a story for everything.
Well, why haven't I heard it before?
I guess it never came up.
Oh, well, he doesn't like to tell it because he basically has to admit that I'm the one that came up with all this.
Now, Grace, you know I'm happy to give you all the credit you deserve.
Then tell it.
Oh,
Oh, come on, for old time's sake, for Pearl's sake.
fine, for Pearl. Well, I was frustrated with my clinical work. I was so tired of the classical setup of me behind a desk and my patients in a chair that felt so far away. And I was tired of feeling so distant, literally and figuratively. And I was sick of feeling like I was getting no results. I mean, they weren't getting any better. In fact, they were getting worse. The medications weren't helping. I couldn't find any meaning in the work. I typed up my resignation letter and I left it on my desk to go get dinner. Now, I was still a poor postdoc at the time, so I could only afford McDonald's. I went to the one off of Union Square, bought my dinner, and sat at one of those awful tables with the attached swivel chairs, you know, like I had done so many times. I was wallowing in a carton of French fries, wondering what the hell I was going to do with my life when I left psychiatry in the clinic. When someone walked up to my table and stood in front of me. It was Grace. She was one of my patients at the clinic. Now, ordinarily I would have straightened up and said something, but since I was leaving the clinic in the world of psychiatry anyway, I didn't bother. I didn't say anything. And Grace asked me if she could sit down and join me. I said, what the hell, why not?
I can't tell you what that response did for my self-esteem.
And that was it. We made more progress in that one meal over dry hamburgers and soggy French fries than we did in an entire year of classical therapy.
So what did you do?
I went back to my office, I tore up my resignation letter, and I started inviting my patients over to my house for dinner every Sunday.
Why to your house?
I couldn't risk having my advisors or my colleagues see me having a meal with my patients.
Why?
I could have been fired, or worse, had my license taken away.
So then what happened?
Well, I knew if I could start showing some positive results, if my patients could start making gains that they hadn't before, that I could reveal what I was doing.
Yeah, how long did that take?
5 years.
5 years?
Well, I needed to have a substantial amount of information that a lot of people documented and signed off on by my advisors. I mean, 1 or 2 examples wouldn't be enough. I knew what I was doing at the time was dangerous. I had to be sure that I got it right before I told anyone.
So how did you eventually tell them?
I was doing really well at NYU. I was teaching. Eventually I was head of the clinic. I mean, I was getting results that no one was getting. They started thinking me as some kind of wizard. Yeah. Once I got my tenure, I knew that I was untouchable. I'd made enough friends and had enough positive results that I could call in a few favors if I needed to. Yeah, figured I could tell them what I was doing.
So what did they say when you told them?
Well, first they thought I was joking, and then they thought I was lying, and then they thought I was completely mad. They couldn't argue with the results.
So then they supported you.
God, no, they were furious. For a while, I was the black sheep of the faculty. I mean, they poured over my work looking for any and every flaw that they could find.
And did they find any?
Not one. I'd been so careful, so meticulous over the years, documenting every single piece of work that I'd done.
Huh. And what about now?
Now, still some people at NYU who think I'm mad.
Even now?
Even now.
But Daddy, that doesn't make any sense. You've proven them all wrong.
Pearl, sweet Pearl. It isn't love that blinds us. It's jealousy that gouges out our eyes and destroys our hearts and conscience. It makes us do horrible things to people who have what we want. Jealousy is an illness not even I have a cure for.
And so that's why you don't want me to go to NYU. You're afraid they're going to turn on me too?
Yes, I'm afraid, well, I don't want you to be subjected to their jealousy.
Well, I don't care what anybody says. I am proud to be your daughter.
We are all proud of our connection, Jack. Catherine, can I help you clean up?
No, it's fine. I'll take care of it.
Well, I hate to eat and run, but I've got early appointments.
Oh.
This has been such a lovely evening. Thank you so much for having us over, especially on such short notice.
It's our pleasure, isn't it, Catherine?
Of course.
Well, thanks for having us over, Doc.
Thank you. I don't know where I'd be without you two.
Bye, Catherine.
God, Daddy, I really love that story.
So do I, even if it does give Grace a little too much credit.
Oh, honey, it's fine. Your father and I will clean up. You've had a long day. Go relax. Thanks, Mom. No, I could go for a good walk, actually. I'll be back in a bit. Sure.
What a lovely evening.
That's one way to put it.
What does that mean?
Nice that your daughter gave you an out. That was convenient. Did you plan that?
What are you talking about?
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Honestly, Jack, you want her to walk away from NYU thinking she can't go there because the faculty is jealous of you?
Catherine,
God, and you wonder why we're not making any progress in therapy. You haven't learned anything from this entire situation. Absolutely nothing.
What I'm doing, Catherine, is protecting our daughter and my patients.
Oh, and we all know how you feel about your patients, right?
Their family.
Family.
You don't believe in this, do you?
Believe what,
You don't
Jack?
believe in me. You don't believe in this work. You never have.
Don't believe in it? How can you say that after everything I put up with?
Put up with. Oh, is that what you've been doing for the last 20 years? Put up with. Well, you certainly didn't seem to mind the healthy paycheck that my private practice brought home, that bought us this house, let us travel all over the world, bought you your designer clothes, your jewelries, the cars. I mean, you haven't wanted for anything.
How dare you?
How dare I? Yes. Catherine, yes, I am daring. It's that daring that's given us this life, that won me a goddamn Nobel Prize. Or is the Nobel Committee wrong too, Catherine? For awarding me an honor because I actually went after my dream and tried to make a contribution to humanity.
Oh, by sleeping with your patients. Is that how we're defining contribution to humanity these days?
I can sleep with my patients, Catherine. I told you that.
Then why has the university asked you to step down from your responsibilities?
It's under investigation. They haven't proven anything. Those girls are sick. It doesn't matter, does it? No, as far as you're concerned, I'm guilty. Case closed.
So they're wrong? Both of them?
Catherine, my work involves me dealing with people that no one else will go near. I mean, some of those girls are very, very sick, and if they were to abandon the method before completely healing, they're likely to
Your
jump.
work is going to destroy this family.
You know what's going to destroy this family, Catherine? Is the fact that you'd rather believe a group of girls you don't even know over your own husband.
What are you going to tell Pearl? You think your little story is going to stop her from applying to NYU?
You don't?
No. You know how she is. She's like you. She is you. She sees what she wants and goes for it. Everyone else be damned. No distractions, no second thoughts, just pure focus.
I'll talk to her. I'll fix
You
this.
can't fix it, Jack. There's no more fixing anything. We are where we are, lies and all.
So we just stay in this place, stuck, no hope.
I don't know, Doctor. You tell me. Where do we go from here? She idolizes you, Jack. She always has. What is she going to say when you're no longer teaching classes at NYU? Huh? We don't have patients over here for Sunday dinner. Then what?
The dean asked me to step down from my responsibilities while the investigation is going on.
You going to tell Pearl that? That you're being investigated for statutory rape and professional ethics violations and paying off the people who file against you?
Of course not.
How are you going to explain that you're retiring now from private practice at the height of your career?
Well, I'm not going to have to tell her that just
Why
yet,
not?
Because I've taken on another patient.
You what?
I've decided to take on another patient.
You can't.
I have to. I have to. Catherine, all right, no one else will go near this girl. She's been through 6 therapists in 2 years. Her mother was here this morning. And
What do you mean here? In this house?
You can't very well expect me to bring her to the office. I mean, I can't risk having anyone see me, especially the dean.
Oh my God. And why was her mother here to see you?
She's a teenager, okay? She's
No.
Pearl's age.
No.
Catherine, she tried to take her own life.
You cannot take another patient, especially a teenage girl.
I have to.
Why?
She was a resident at Chapman House. Catherine, she has nowhere else to go. I'm her only hope.
You know how many times you've said that to me, Jack? You don't think any rules at all, apply to you.
No one is going to find out, Catherine.
People are going to see a young girl going into your office at the clinic.
No, they won't.
What are you going to do? Throw an invisibility cloak over your head?
No, I'm going to see her here.
You're going to see a patient, a young girl, one-on-one for therapy sessions in this house? No. Sunday dinners and group gatherings are one thing. One-on-one therapy, especially when you're sneaking around to do it, is not okay. You're not doing this.
I have to.
You cannot run private therapy sessions in this house.
This is my house.
This is our house, Jack. This is Pearl's house. You cannot have private therapy sessions in our home. It is not safe. You don't know anything about this girl, you don't know her history, and you don't know what she's capable of.
I don't have a choice, Catherine. You just said so yourself. I can't risk having anyone see me at the office, so...
I said you cannot be seeing patients, period. And so did the dean, and that includes not sneaking around to do it.
No one's gonna know.
I know. And Pearl will know. Do you consider us no one?
That's not what I meant.
No, Jack. What you meant is that no one who actually matters will know. Very clear that Pearl and I don't matter.
How can you say that?
Jack, you talk a lot. You talk for a living. But in the end, we're not measured by what we say. We're measured by what we do. That's what people remember. And they remember how your actions made them feel. And the real shame in all this is that you can't fix this. You can't fix us. You can heal all these broken people, but you can't heal your own broken marriage. Your own broken life.
You must be Catherine.
I am. I don't know who you are.
I'm Joyce Titus. And that's my daughter Carol. I am so thankful Jack was able to see her on such short notice. And on a Saturday, no less. I don't normally do things like this. I didn't know what else to do. She's been doing so well since she started seeing him. I heard you have a daughter too?
Did you?
Jack told me about her when I first came to see him. Your daughter, Pearl, is it? She worked at Chapman House?
He told you that?
Well, Carol was living there before.
It was a terrible thing that happened there.
Awful. Carol's been reeling from it all, but she's much better now than she has been in a long time since coming here to see Jack. Well, at least she was until this morning.
Mrs. Titus, it's,
Please, call me Joyce. Mrs. Titus makes me feel like my mother.
Mrs. Titus, it's really not appropriate for me to talk to you about your daughter.
Of course, I'm sorry. I'm just so out of it these days, I hardly know what I'm saying sometimes. Forgive me, please. How is Pearl handling?
Yeah, I don't really think that's appropriate either, given the circumstances.
Right. You're right. Will I usually wait here?
You usually wait here.
Well, I don't like Carol to ride the subway by herself, so Jack said it was okay if I just bring her and then I wait here in the living room until their session's over. I guess you've been at work every time.
I guess so.
You're a teacher, right?
Did Jack tell you that too?
No, Carol did actually.
Your daughter told you that I was a teacher. And how did she know that?
I guess Jack must have told her.
I see.
Well, I could go get a coffee or something and
Sure.
come back. Oh, okay.
I'll have him call you when they're done. He has your number, right?
He does, but can I give it to you anyway, just in case? Do you have a pen?
Sure.
Thanks again, really, thank you.
Sure.
Who was that?
Joyce Titus.
Who?
Carol is your dad's patient. That's her mother.
Why was she here?
Carol's in with your dad in his office. She went to get a coffee. I told her he would call her when they're done. That's her number.
Kind of weird that Dad's seeing a patient for private therapy sessions here. Why didn't he ever go to the office downtown?
I don't know, honey. Maybe you could ask him when he's done.
I will. Hey, Mom, can I ask you something?
You can ask me anything.
Why doesn't Daddy want me to go to NYU?
Didn't he say it was because he didn't want you to be dealing with what he's been dealing with there?
Yeah, but I've been thinking about what he said, and it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, Daddy doesn't shrink away from adversity. If anything, he confronts it head on. Doesn't he think that I can do that?
Honey, I don't think his reasons have anything to do with you.
This place is like Grand Central this morning. Hello? Hey, Eric. Sure, I wasn't expecting him, but you can send him up. Yeah.
And who was that?
Detective Dennehy.
How many more questions could he possibly have for you, Pearl? This has to be the 10th time he's been here.
Got it, Mom. It's only the 5th.
Pearl, this is ridiculous. I won't have him harassing
Mom,
you.
it's fine. I'll talk to him 100 times if it helps us figure out what happened to George. I just want to know what happened, okay? Hi, Detective.
Right, bro.
Detective, with all due respect, what more questions could you possibly have for Pearl?
With all due respect, Miss Young, I'm not here to see Pearl.
Oh?
I was wondering if Dr. Young is here?
He's not available.
He's not here or he's not available?
He's not here.
When will he be back?
Not for a while, I think. I could have him call you or come down to the station if that's better.
Well, since I'm here, you mind answering a few questions for me, Miss Young?
Me? No, but I doubt I'll have any help with your investigation.
Well, why don't you let me be the judge of that?
Pearl, would you excuse us?
I want to stay. I want to hear what the detective has to say.
Fine by me.
How can I help, Detective?
Yeah. Miss Young, where was your husband the night of the Chapman House fire? Miss Young, where was your husband the night of the fire?
We were at dinner.
Where?
I don't remember. I'd have to check.
Could you check now?
Let me just get my phone.
It's a nice view.
We were at Jean Georges.
John George. That's a fancy place. You couldn't remember that? Are you celebrating something?
No, just one of Jack's favorite places.
Oh, so you must go often.
Often enough.
Often enough that if I went down there and asked them if they remember you being there that night, they'd remember?
I don't know if they'd remember that specific night, but Jack might have made a reservation. I'm sure they'd have that record.
Okay. I'll check. And how long have you and the good doctor been married?
It'll be 20 years next year.
20 years. Wow. It's quite an accomplishment nowadays.
We think so.
Every marriage has its ups and downs. I'm sure you've seen your fair share in the past 20 years or so.
Detective, is this an interrogation about my marriage?
I'm just trying to put all the pieces together.
Right, and what role does my marriage exactly have in that?
Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I won't know until I figure it all out.
Is there anything else you'd like to know, Detective?
Oh, there's a lot I'd like to know, Catherine. And that's all for now. Could you ask the good doctor to give me a call when he gets back?
We have your card.
Well, I'll leave it here, just in case. Enjoy your Saturday. I'll show myself out.
Why is he asking questions about you and Daddy?
I don't know, honey. It's not important.
Mom, is there something going on that I don't know about?
No, we're fine, sweetheart, okay? We're fine.
Okay.
I don't know why I did it. I could hear myself saying, calm down, and I knew I was talking to myself, like I was part calm, part not, like my mind was calm, but my body was out of control. I couldn't stop. I was tired and angry at the same time. I could hear my mom, but she was so far away. I was running away. All the colors were blurring together. I couldn't stop. I just wanted to scream. I just wanted to be free of all of it. I wanted to block it all out, everything out.
What did you want to block out, Carol?
I don't want to think anymore. I am so sick of thinking. I am tired of my thoughts. Nothing makes sense. I just want to be free of it, all of it.
What does being free mean to you?
That nothing hurts, that nothing can get to me.
And is someone or something hurting you now?
It all hurts.
What hurts, Carol?
I can't be near people.
Why?
Too unpredictable. I don't get them, they don't get me.
You mean they don't understand you?
I don't understand them. I think they like me and then I get it all wrong.
Who doesn't like you?
Well, they like me, but they don't like me.
They don't like you? Who?
Men. I think there's something there and then I get it all wrong. They're just trying to be nice to me. They're all just trying really hard to be nice to me, like it's work.
Is there a certain man in particular?
God, I was so mad that I got it wrong again. But I really thought there was something there, you know? We'd laugh and talk and laugh. He wanted me around. He treated me differently than the other girls. I saw it. I knew it. He knew it.
Did you talk to him about how you felt?
I didn't need to talk to him about it. I knew the truth. I always know the truth.
Did he feel the same way?
Well, not at first, but eventually. Definitely. That's why I didn't think anything of it.
You didn't think anything of what?
Of kissing him.
Okay, so what happened after you kissed him?
He pushed me away and everyone saw.
You kissed him in front of other people.
Yeah, in front of everyone. All the people who worked there, my friends, they all saw it. They all were there.
How'd that make you feel?
Made me want to hurt him. Made me want to hurt all of them, just like the last time.
This has happened before?
Well, I thought this was different. It felt different. You know, I hate my job. I hate school. I never liked any of those places, any of those people.
And what made this time different than that?
I loved that place. Those people, my friends.
Have you been back there since it happened?
Can't go back.
Well, why not?
It's not there anymore.
What do you mean?
Burned down?
Oh, so this was a boy from Chapman House.
A man, not a boy.
I didn't mean for that to be derogatory. A man.
Well, he was a man, a real man.
I know Chapman House was a very special place. It was hard for everyone there to lose it.
It's harder when it's your fault.
Your fault?
I did it.
You did what, Carol?
I burned it down.
Carol,
Well, I knew he'd be there late. He's always there late on Thursdays, and I thought if I just saved his life that he'd be indebted to me, and he'd see how much I mean to him, and he'd realize how much he means to me. I thought if I just poured a little gasoline and lit a match, that it would
Carol,
be...
what man are you talking about?
George!
Are you saying that you and George...
Well, no, I wanted to get his attention. I wanted him to see and understand that I'm not like the other girls, that I'm different. And I thought that he'd be able to get out. I planned to go in after him. I was gonna take him out of the fire, and I was gonna take care of him. I thought if I saved his life, that he'd see how good I am, that I'm not just some messed up kid who, and then the fire got so big, so fast, I didn't know what to do. I couldn't figure out how to, and then the alarm started going off, and I just ran, and everyone else started going to the stairs too, and I tried to stop, but all I could hear was him screaming as I ran, and I tried to turn around, but my feet wouldn't stop, and I just kept running until my feet stopped, and I fell to the ground outside, and the fire engines were coming, and they came to the house, and I finally turned around, and the whole place was up in flames. And the firemen were swarming. They couldn't do anything for it. And the alarms and the sirens were blaring, but all I could hear was silence. His silence.
Have you talked to the police? Are you planning on talking to them? Carol, I know this is hard.
No, you don't know anything. No one knows anything. I didn't mean for this to happen.
I know, it's...
No, I don't know what to do now.
We can face this.
No, I can't.
Carol, I will be there for you no matter what. I promise you that.
But you can't protect me from this. You can't make this go away.
I can't change the past, but I can be there for you going forward, okay? I won't
They're gonna take me away, aren't they? They're gonna lock me up again, aren't they?
No, we don't know what's
No,
going to happen.
I know what I've done. And so do you. Now you know. You're gonna tell them.
Carol,
you're gonna lock
my
them.
patient. You have my complete confidence.
No, I didn't know that he was Pearl's boyfriend. I had no idea that she even worked there. I never even saw her. No!
Carol! Carol! Carol!
Jack!
Where's Joyce?
She went to get coffee. I told her that you would call her when you were done.
Good.
Daddy, what's going on? Who was screaming?
Jack, what is happening?
Daddy, what happened? Jack? Daddy, if that was Carol, we have to go after her.
No, we can't go after her.
What? Jack, Pearl is right.
Who is the doctor here? You? Are you qualified to help people grapple with reality? Are you? How dare you tell me what's good for my patient? My patient! Not a word of this to anyone. Do I make myself clear? Joyce, it's Jack. How are you? Good. Something strange just happened. I just finished my session with Carol. And no, everything was fine. More than fine. Yeah. But she was in a very positive place. Well, no, I'm all right. Just here talking with Pearl and Catherine, laughing even. Well, the thing was that we finished up and I told her that I'd call you, but she said I didn't have to. She said she'd wait for you downstairs and call you from there. That's strange. Maybe her phone is dead. Or maybe she's on her way back up. Let me check with my doorman. Can you hang on? Great. Eric, it's Dr. Young. Is there a young woman down there? Oh my. No, I have no idea. All right, Eric, thank you. Thank you, Eric. Joyce, I just spoke to my doorman. He said that Carol left the building a few minutes ago. Yeah. No, it said that she seemed perfectly fine. No, I really felt that she had turned a corner today. Yeah. Well, why don't you go ahead and wait for her at home, see if she turns up there. I'll go downstairs and see if she's maybe on the sidewalk or in the subway. Pearl and Catherine will wait here just in case she gets back. Yeah, does she have some money on her? She can get home? Okay, good. Okay, you give me a call if she turns up. All right. Bye-bye. Yeah, bye.
Jack.
Daddy.
Not a word. Catherine, I can hear you thinking
What do you hear?
that I brought this on myself, that I deserve this. I guess Carol never came back.
Nope.
And she didn't call.
She called.
What?
Carol called.
She called the house.
She did?
Why didn't you call me?
I did. You left your phone here. It's by the door.
Damn it! She called my cell. What did she say?
I don't know exactly what she said.
How do you not know?
I didn't answer the phone.
Well, who did?
Pearl did.
Pearl!
She's not here.
Where the hell is she?
She went to meet Carol.
You sent our teenage daughter to meet my mentally unstable patient by herself.
She didn't go by
Well,
herself.
who the hell did she go with then?
Susan, Grace, Joyce, and Detective Dennehy.
You called them to go with her?
No. I was in the shower, and when I came out, Pearl was gone. She left a note.
What note?
It's over there. It's in the cabinet.
Find her.
Don't bother.
She's my patient!
She was your patient.
No.
Jack, she called. Pearl called before you got here.
Oh, what did she say?
They searched the bridge. They couldn't find her, not a trace.
The bridge.
They couldn't find her.
Oh. What does that mean?
Don't
What is that?
You have a lot of explaining to do, Dr. Young.
Did you find her? Is she all right?
I'm sorry, Miss
You have
Titus.
any idea?
I am sorry, Miss Titus, but I'm going to have to take Dr. Young down to the station.
But this is my daughter!
I understand that, and I'm sorry for it. I am, but I need to ask Dr. Young a lot of questions, and I can't do it here.
Why can't you question him here?
Why does he have to go down to the station?
Because he's a person of interest in a missing person case.
What?
Do I really need to repeat myself? Dr. Young, let's go. Miss Titus, I understand you don't want to be alone at a time like this, but may I suggest you get home just in case Carol turns up?
I'll go with her.
And the rest of you should stay here just in case Carol comes back.
What if she's out on the street?
Well, then we should consider ourselves very lucky. The NYPD is looking everywhere for her, and we've issued a Amber Alert.
Well, what about the river?
There's a scuba team looking there as well. Dr. Young, come with me.
You couldn't find her?
No. We went up and down the bridge, both sides. There was no trace of her at all. No witnesses that said they saw her.
And she could have called from someplace else.
No, Mom, why would she lie about where she was?
You're sure she said she was at the GWB?
Positive.
Pearl, honey, that was very brave of you. Scary, but brave.
Is there any idea on what could have triggered this?
Joyce and I told them that Carol just called Daddy out of the blue. When I said that he wasn't here, she told me she was at the GWB and hung up. That's it.
So strange that she'd call the house line, that she'd even have the number here.
Grace, if you need to go, please, I can call you if anything.
Absolutely not. Look, if Carol calls or comes back here, it's important that a psychiatrist is here to help her, okay? I'm happy to stay as long as I need to.
Can I get you something to eat, or?
I'm just gonna use the bathroom.
Okay. I'll order some food.
Yeah.
Pearl, what did you and Joyce tell everyone?
I didn't know what to do, Mom. Carol called and I tried calling Daddy, but he left his phone here. All I could think about was getting to Carol. Joyce told me that no one is supposed to know that Daddy's seeing Carol here. Then Daddy tells us not to say anything when Carol goes running out of here. What's going on? Why do we have to do all this lying and sneaking
Why did you
around?
just run out? Why didn't you knock on the door and tell me that Carol had called?
I don't know, Mom. I panicked. I was worried I wasn't going to get to her in time. I wanted.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Is Daddy going to go to jail?
No, sweetheart. Your father always knows what he's doing. Okay?
Okay.
So you work for Jack?
I work with him, as does Grace.
Was he a professor in college?
Eventually, I met him in high school. I was his patient at first.
His patient? You were... What exactly was...
What was wrong with me?
I didn't mean it like that.
That's okay. You can say it like that. I have OCD,
What's that?
obsessive compulsive disorder. I like things to be done in a very particular way, and when they're not, it puts me on edge.
And Jack cured you of that?
Well, I don't think we're ever really cured of our tendencies. We can't really change our instincts, but we can alter our actions. We can learn to make different choices, but it's not easy.
How did he do it?
How did he do what?
How did Jack make your OCD go away?
Therapists don't make things go away. We help people find a new way of seeing, and that hopefully helps them find a new way of being.
But how do you help other people if you're...
You'd be surprised how many therapists go into this field for selfish reasons or because we need to heal too. Myself, Grace, even Jack. We're just like everyone else in that way. We're all searching for explanations, reasons. We don't have all the answers, but we're really good listeners. Therapists are some of the most imperfect people I know, but we're really good at seeing the truth, even in all the chaos of life, and helping others see it too.
Do you think my Carol's dead?
I really hope she's all right.
I don't think she's dead. Even though she's so distant and so far away from me sometimes, I think if she were really gone, I would know it. I would feel something in me break or disappear. It's funny, well, it's weird. I feel like she's closer to me now than when she's sitting right next to me. Is that crazy?
Why do you think that is?
It's the better alternative, you know? Anyway, I don't mean to keep you here. I'm sure you have much better things
I'm
to do
happy to
than
be
just...
here. If Carol calls or comes back, it's really important that a psychiatrist be here to help. I'm happy to stay as long as I need to.
She never arrived. ABC's Clayton Sandell.
At least 50 police officers are searching right now, and still no sign.
You have something I want.
What's that, detective?
Answers. Information. Everyone else may think you're some type of savior, some type of upstanding doctor. I don't buy it.
I'm entitled to have an attorney here.
Would you like me to call one for you? Because they're going to need to know exactly what it is you've done.
Am I being charged with something, detective?
You know something. Heck, you know a lot of something.
And why is that, detective? Because it would be convenient for you. So that you could add another arrest to your collar list or receive some award for your valiant efforts.
No. Your nervous tick tells me so.
My nervous tick. Detective, may I remind you that I'm a psychiatrist who's just been nominated for the Nobel Prize. If I had a nervous tick, I think I'd know about it.
Well, then how come every time you lie to me, you reach for your right ear?
That's ridiculous.
Okay. Let's assume you don't have this nervous tick. Here are the facts. A man who spent his whole life helping people, who never needed recognition for any of his work, was murdered.
You don't know that.
That same man was a friend and mentor to your daughter. He was also her boyfriend, her much older boyfriend.
Detective, what exactly are you getting at here? Where did you get these photographs?
You're a very jealous man. You think no one is good enough for your daughter. Certainly not some social worker who works with kids off the street. A man who started to get a lot of press for doing work similar to yours. So now you have two motives for getting rid of this guy.
This is ridiculous.
But then again, you'd understand his attraction to younger women, right? After all, that has been your MO all along.
Detective, I thought we were here to talk about my patient.
We are talking about your patient. I just haven't figured out how she fits into your puzzle just yet.
I don't have a puzzle, Detective.
You started that fire to scare George away from his work, to protect your daughter. And things got out of hand, and she confronted you about it. And now, Carol Titus, your patient, who was his patient, has conveniently disappeared without a trace.
Now, that's a lot of speculation without any proof, Detective. Psychiatry, we call that hallucination.
You have answers. I want them. A man is dead. A young girl missing. Both connected to you. I want to know what happened to them and why. And so does your daughter.
Sorry, Detective, but I don't have any more answers for you beyond what I've given you.
Oh, I hope you're right, Dr. Young, because if you're lying to me, I will find out. And so will everybody else. Even your fancy Nobel Prize friends.
Are you prepared to charge me with something here, Detective? Because otherwise you can't hold me. I know my rights. Am I free to go?
Yeah. For now. But I wouldn't plan on going ever out of town anytime soon.
And call the police. Lucy Yang, Channel 7.
I might be biased, but I think NYU's a great choice.
Yeah, let's just hope I can convince my dad of that too. Oh, honey, you look exhausted. Why don't you try to get some sleep?
Daddy's not home yet. Carol's still out there.
Waiting up won't change any of that.
I know.
Go get some sleep. We'll take the night shift.
You'll wake me if anything happens.
I will. I will. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Good night. Thank you.
She's amazing.
She's you.
No, she's Jack.
Only in some ways, but her grace, her desire to help and do the right thing, now that's you.
Thank you for saying that.
It's the truth.
Do you think Carol's still alive?
I don't know. I hope so. But the circumstances, they just don't make sense. I mean, usually something like this is brought on, triggered by something that's happened, you know?
What drives a person to that place?
Sadness, loneliness,
I'm
helplessness.
sorry, Grace. I forgot that you...
No, it's okay. Sometimes I catch myself thinking the same thing. I guess that's personal progress.
I wonder if it was the fire.
What do you mean?
Jack told me that Carol was a resident at Chapman House. She went to live with her mom after the fire.
Oh, God, Catherine. That's why she was seeing Jack?
I don't think she was seeing Jack anymore. He stopped seeing patients in private practice.
Oh, well, how long ago was she Jack's patient?
I don't really know, Grace. I don't get involved in Jack's work that way.
Of course. I'm sorry, Catherine. God, sometimes I forget, you know. I just put you and Jack together in my mind. You've been such a big part of all this, you know. You don't really get enough credit for that.
For what?
For making his work possible? So, if Carol was at the Chapman house, well then she must have known George too.
She must have. The staff wasn't very big.
Well, does Pearl know her?
I don't know. Jack hasn't talked to her about Carol.
Oh, God. Oh, no, you don't think that...
Think what?
That Carol had something to do with the fire, do you?
What do you mean?
Well, do you think she knows what happened or what caused it?
I'm sure they've questioned everyone from Chapman, same way they've questioned Pearl. If there was something there, they would have found it by now, right?
You know, Pearl said something to me that was a little strange.
What?
She said that when Carol called, Carol said something that it didn't make sense, but now I think it might. Carol said, it's only a matter of time.
And then what?
Nothing. She just hung up.
Did she mean before she'd do whatever she planned to do?
Well, maybe. We just don't even know what that is, you know? Maybe she knows something and she's afraid to say it. To the police, to her mom, to Jack. I don't know. It's just something I thought of when you said that she was at Chapman.
Can I get you something more to drink?
Catherine. Okay. Maybe this isn't my place. But is everything okay with Jack?
Sure. I mean, it was before.
No, I mean, I guess what I'm asking is, did something happen that I don't know about?
I don't know what you mean, Grace.
Well, it's just that he hasn't been teaching it all this term, and I haven't seen him in his downtown office, and he's just been absent. A lot. And at first, I thought it had to do with the Nobel, and he was busy with the press, or I don't know. But then when we were over here the other night, something just didn't feel right.
Is that a technical term, Grace? Feel right?
You know, I kind of look at this place like a home base, like a safe place that's always felt welcoming, like no other place I've ever been. Even when the world's falling apart, especially when the world's falling apart, I know I could always put myself back together here. I don't know. It's hate to see something happen to it.
So would I.
Jack, what happened?
Are you all right?
I'm fine under the circumstances.
Oh, well, obviously they couldn't keep you.
No, but he asked me what I knew about Carol's disappearance and what our sessions were like. Couldn't tell him much, obviously. I couldn't tell him what we discussed in our sessions.
Well, of course not.
Why?
She's my patient, Catherine. I have to keep what she tells me in confidence.
Even if you know something that can help them find her?
And I don't. Catherine, if I knew something that would help me find Carol, I'd use it.
Oh, God, Jack, I'm so sorry. God, this is the therapist's worst nightmare.
And the mother's.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, Jack, do you want me to stay?
No, you've already done more than I could have asked for. Thank you so much, Grace. I don't know where I'd be without you, it seems clearly.
Well, you won't ever have to know. We're not going anywhere.
Thank you, Grace. You should go home. Get some rest, yeah?
You let me know if you need something.
I will. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Catherine, for dinner and, you know, everything. You're welcome.
You know something, don't you?
No?
A man is dead, Jack. A man your daughter loved. A man she still loves. Carol did it. She started the fire.
No.
Didn't she?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about your charade.
What charade?
Jesus, Jack! She admitted that she started the fire. To you. In your office.
You didn't.
I had to. I have to protect my daughter.
She is my patient, Catherine. I can't turn her into the police. Doctor-patient
Doctor-patient confidentiality? If you won't, then I will.
Catherine!
Tell me, Jack. Can you accept a Nobel Prize from jail?
Please.
Daddy! Is that true? Is all of that true?
Girl, you don't understand.
Mom's right, isn't she?
That's not the whole story.
Then what is the whole story?
Sweetheart, it's complicated, okay? It's hard to understand.
Then help me understand! Because I feel lost and uprooted and confused. I feel sad and angry, and I know I am being lied to.
I know you're hurting.
Then help me. Please help me stop hurting.
I can't just make the hurt go away. If I could, I would.
I can't be here right now. I gotta get out of here.
Pearl, wait.
No, Pearl, I'll come with you. I'll wait for you downstairs. Okay.
Catherine, you don't get out of my way.
You'll what? Hurt me? You've already done that. You've hurt me, you've hurt Pearl, you've hurt everyone you've ever loved. And for what? For what?
Thought I'd find you here, Jack.
Carol? Hi. Is that the gun from my...
From your desk? Yeah, Jack. Where else do you think I'd get it from? Stay where you are, Jack. Ooh, looks like you've had a little, something to drink here. I bet you are a lousy shot, even when you're sober.
Carol.
No, Jack, you don't get to talk anymore. You have talked enough. It's time to go, Jack.
Go where?
You can't stay here. The police are gonna be here any moment. Catherine and Pearl are at the police station right now. They're gonna tell that detective everything. Everything they know about you, about me. And that precious doorman I drugged, he's gonna wake up soon. Those drugs will not last long, and we need to be gone before he comes to.
I can't go with you.
You don't have a choice, Jack! Your marriage is over, your career's over. Everyone's gonna know sooner or later about those two girls. It's gonna be all over the news about how you went to see George, how you threatened him, how you fought with him. What's Pearl gonna say then? You painted yourself into a corner. Jack, so did I. You and I, we're on the same side. It's us against all of them. I am giving you a way out. This is your only way out, Jack. It's over. Well, at least it's over here. We gotta go. Come on, Jack. It's time.
we do with these? Do we keep them? No. Hi, Eric. She's here? No, it's fine. Send her up. Who's here? It's Joyce.
What does she want?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Hi, Catherine. Can I come in?
Please?
Hi, Pearl. Wow, it looks like you're almost done here.
Yeah, just a few remaining boxes.
Well, look, I just came by, just to say how sad I am
It's
about
Joyce,
it.
it's done. It's done.
Right. Well, I guess we're kind of in the same boat then.
How do you mean?
Just that we both lost someone we love.
No.
No?
No. We are not in the same boat. My husband tried to help your very, very sick daughter.
Mom, don't.
You came over here with a sob story about how no one would see Carol, how lost she was after the fire. You knew my husband would have sympathy.
No, I didn't even
You
know.
knew he wouldn't say no. You knew he couldn't. And you came over here, you kept this secret from everyone.
Jack told me I had to keep it a secret.
You blamed my husband for your poor parenting skills, for your inability to control your own child. He loved Carol. He wanted to help her. He wanted to help you. And how did you repay him? By blaming him. Blame that should have been directed on yourself.
Mom, stop. I was upset when I found out. The press was hounding me. They begged me to comment. I was too upset to know what I was saying, to think things through.
A brilliant mind has been taken from the world, and it's your fault. You did this. The ultimate responsibility of a child rests with her parents. We couldn't be more different. I understand you want peace and closure, and I hope you find that somehow. I do. But you won't get it from me. I will never forgive you and your sick daughter for what you've done to my family. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Hey, Mom? Do you really believe in the idea of starting over?
No. But I believe in the poetry of it.